This campaign is the final opportunity to enable Sarah's long-term independence, give her quality of life and the medical interventions she needs whilst living with rheumatoid arthritis and its associated illnesses. Some of you will be aware of the previous campaign for Sarah's medical needs, Sarah's Struggle, which culminated in such generosity that we achieved the goal of raising funds for emergency surgery on her spine. The remaining funds gifted have given her subsequent opportunity to undergo some of the aftercare required, cover costs of ongoing medical needs, and visit specialists to gain an understanding of long-term prognosis and requirements. These funds also helped with an emergency visit to hospital in July due to a fracture in her pelvis. For those of you who are not familiar with Sarah and her medical diagnoses, Sarah is my sister. She lives in South Africa and she's been living with chronic rheumatoid arthritis for 11 years. She has further chronic associated illnesses including acute osteoporosis, Sjogren's disease and fibromyalgia. Despite her medical conditions, Sarah's life in South Africa is one where she follows her vocation of caring for people and for cultural environmental work. As a traditional medicine person, counselling, healing and mentoring people in the process of self-realisation. She has embraced and has been trained to work within traditional Zulu practices, having been taught by her Zulu elders and mentors. She has expanded this work to create a bridge for cross-cultural communication and awareness of the issues which connect us all. Sarah and her life partner, Muvo, are an integral part of their rural community. They are a valued source of help and advice locally, as well as helping people overseas. Sarah is a voluntary consultant for environmental bodies that value her traditional cultural knowledge and experience. Sarah feels very passionately about protecting and preserving Indigenous sacred sites and their environment, and works actively with communities to educate them, as well as addressing those who do not value the land or the rights of Indigenous communities. To say that Sarah has had some challenging times over the last year or so is an understatement, starting with the fall that she had in May 2020. This culminated in emergency surgery to fix a broken hip femur, which ended up with complications, and she had to have further surgeries to clear up infection. In October 2020, she was told she had a compression fracture at the bottom of her spine, which needed urgent surgery and further evidence of previous multiple fractures. The campaign Sarah's Struggle allowed that surgery to happen at the very beginning of 2021. So what's been happening since Sarah's surgery at the beginning of the year, and why am I campaigning again for further funding for her? In recent months, Sarah has had further appointments with her orthopaedic surgeon, periodontist, GP and her newly and exceptionally learned rheumatologist. The outcome of this medical advice Sarah's been given is that the rheumatoid arthritis medication that was working for Sarah has had to stop due to this being a major factor in her now acute osteoporosis. Her new rheumatologist has been explicit about what medications Sarah should now be on and believes they will kick Sarah's rheumatoid arthritis into remission. The metal pin inserted to fix Sarah's femur has been positioned incorrectly and cannot be rectified at the original government hospital where the operation took place. It is poking at Sarah's leg and nerves, causing her further acute pain, and she needs further surgery to rectify this issue. Due to Sjogren's disease, the damage to Sarah's teeth and jawbone is now at a critical stage, and urgent treatment is required to prevent infection and replace missing teeth. It is now apparent, due to the damage the rheumatoid arthritis has caused, and most acutely the severe osteoporosis that Sarah has, that she will not be as able-bodied in the way she herself and we would have hoped. This means to protect her body from any further breaks, and for her to be able to continue her work physically, which involves walking long distances or over rough terrain, and to have some quality of life, she needs a mobility vehicle. The financial implications for all this are significant. I am paying for the new rheumatoid arthritis medication and will continue to do so for as long as I can. I felt this was urgent to try and ease some of the suffering Sarah endures. It is early days in terms of how well it will work, but we are all hopeful. And gratefully, the remaining funds from the Sarah's Struggle campaign paid for Sarah's most recent hospital care for her fractured pelvis. But this now leaves a zero balance for anything else, with a number of vital medical needs that require funding. Therefore, I am looking to the community of compassionate, kind and generous people once more, with the aim to raise the funds for the following. Firstly, for the surgery needed to rectify the issue with the pin in Sarah's leg. Sarah's orthopaedic surgeon would like to get this done as soon as possible. Secondly, to enable Sarah to engage with her periodontist to finish the treatment she has started as soon as possible to halt any further risk of infection and damage to her jawbone. Thirdly, for an all-terrain mobility vehicle. Sarah is very vulnerable when she moves about. She is barely able to take more than a few steps on level ground, and she has been told she shouldn't do any more than a few steps around the home. Sarah needs a vehicle to be robust enough to take her to the rural communities and areas she goes to continue her work. We have researched what we think would be most suitable, and Sarah has also consulted with her orthopaedic surgeon. And finally, to cover 12 months of medical insurance. We have recently found an insurer that will cover, in the most part, the costs of Sarah's medical needs. Ultimately, medical insurance is the only way to sustain the volume of ongoing requirements for Sarah's medicines and care. Due to Sarah's pre-existing conditions and age, Sarah must pay in for a whole year before the insurers will pay out. She will be covered for emergencies immediately after 3 months of payment, but not for pre-existing conditions. The medical aid company have also clearly informed her that they will not cover her costs for the pin operation, as this injury occurred before she signed into any contract with them. After the first year, the insurance company will cover most of the medicines and specialist care she will need, negating the requirement to reach out to people for further financial support. Raising these funds for Sarah will enable her to reach her landmark turning point in her journey. She will no longer have to make the impossible choices about what treatments she can or can't have, or live in fear of medical bills in case of emergency treatments and hospital visits. She will be on the medications she needs, have the mobility vehicle to give her safety and quality of life, and have peace of mind that her medical care is covered. Neither Sarah or I are ignorant of the fact that the total sum we are aiming to raise is significant, but this figure is ultimately the value of Sarah's life. It is not easy for me to quantify my sister's worth, as she is invaluable to me, nor is it easy for Sarah to measure her worth based on the funds we are asking for, or for her medical battles to be laid bare for the public to see. She is so much more than her illness. I ask that if you can donate, please do, even just a little. Many people donating a little could make such a huge impact on the success of this campaign, and please share this campaign within your community and ask them to share too. Sarah would like to give back to everyone who donates by sending a digital copy of her artwork. Please do contact me through this campaign so we have an address to send this media to. And Sarah and Muvo would also like to give back to Mother Earth by planting trees. Muvo will plant 5 trees for each of the 4 goals we reach. This will also empower the community Sarah lives in, who are more than willing to help with tree planting as they value their environment. And because I love my sister and I want to raise awareness of this campaign, I will also be taking my own 40-kilometre landmark journey from my own home to Glastonbury Tor on the 9th of November. Please do like and follow Sarah's Landmark Challenge page on Facebook for updates from me and Sarah about the campaign and the challenge. We are grateful to each one of you for your compassion, kindness and support. Much love, Kath and Sarah.